Chapter 8, Learning Objective 4. Determine a transfer price using the negotiated, cost-based, and market-based approaches. Some companies grow vertically, meaning they expand in the direction of either their suppliers or customers. For example, a manufacturer of bicycles like Trek may acquire a bicycle component manufacturer or a chain of bicycle shops. A movie production company like Walt Disney or Time Warner may acquire a movie theater chain or a cable television company. In addition to customer sales, divisions within vertically integrated companies often transfer goods and services to other divisions in the company. When goods are transferred between divisions of the same company, the price used to record the transaction is the transfer price. The primary objective of transfer pricing is to maximize the return to the company. An additional objective of transfer pricing is to measure divisional performance accurately. There are three possible approaches for determining a transfer price. 1. Negotiated transfer prices. 2. Cost-based transfer prices. And 3. Market-based transfer prices. Conceptually, a negotiated transfer price should work best, but due to practical considerations, companies often use the other two methods. A negotiated transfer price is determined through agreement of division managers. To illustrate negotiated transfer pricing, we examine Alberta Company. Until recently, Alberta focused exclusively on making rubber soles for work boots and hiking boots. The company is structured as two independent divisions, the sole division and the boot division. The company compensates the managers of each division based on achievement of profitability targets for that division. The boot division has been purchasing its rubber soles from an outside supplier. However, management now wants the sole division to provide at least some of the soles used by the boot division. Illustration 8-18 shows the computation of the contribution margin per unit for each division when the boot division purchases soles from an outside supplier. This information indicates that the contribution margin per unit for the boot division is $38 and for the sole division is $7. The total contribution margin per unit is $45. Now let's ask the question. What would be a fair transfer price if the sole division sold 10,000 soles to the boot division? The answer depends on how busy the sole division is, that is, whether it has excess capacity. The sole division has no excess capacity and produces and sells 80,000 units to outside customers. Therefore, the sole division must receive from the boot division a payment that will at least cover its variable cost per sole plus its lost contribution margin per sole. This lost contribution margin is often referred to as opportunity cost. If the sole division cannot recover that amount, called the minimum transfer price, it should not sell its soles to the boot division. The minimum transfer price that would be acceptable to the sole division is $18, the variable cost plus the opportunity cost. From the perspective of the boot division, who's the buyer, the most it will pay is what the sole would cost from an outside supplier. In this case, the boot division would pay no more than $17. What happens if the sole division has excess capacity? For example, assume the sole division can produce 80,000 soles but can sell only 70,000 soles in the open market. As a result, it has available capacity of 10,000 soles. Because it has excess capacity, the sole division could provide 10,000 soles to the boot division without losing its $7 contribution margin on these units. Therefore, the minimum price it would now accept is $11 as there is no opportunity cost. As illustrated here, the boot division and the sole division should negotiate a transfer price within the range of $11 to $17. The sole division will receive a positive contribution margin from any transfer price above its variable cost of $11. The boot division will benefit from any price below $17. In the minimum transfer price formula, variable cost is defined as the variable cost of the unit sold internally. In some instances, the variable cost of a unit sold internally will be higher or lower than the variable cost of units sold externally. In this case, the internal variable costs are used in the minimum transfer pricing formula. Under negotiated transfer pricing, the selling division establishes a minimum transfer price, and the purchasing division establishes a maximum transfer price. This system provides a sound basis for establishing a transfer price because both divisions are better off if the proper decision-making rules are used. However, companies often do not use negotiated transfer pricing because market price information is sometimes not easily obtainable. A lack of trust between the two negotiating divisions may lead to a breakdown in the negotiations, and negotiations often lead to different pricing strategies from division to division, which is cumbersome and sometimes costly to implement. An alternative to negotiated transfer pricing is cost-based pricing. A cost-based transfer price is based on the costs incurred by the division producing the goods. A cost-based transfer price can be based on variable costs alone or on variable costs plus fixed costs. Also, in some cases, a selling division may add a markup. The cost-based approach sometimes results in improper transfer prices. Improper transfer prices can reduce company profits and provide unfair evaluation of division performance. To illustrate, Alberta Company requires the division to use a transfer price based on the variable cost of the sole. With no excess capacity, the contribution margin per unit for the two divisions on the transfer of 10,000 soles to the boot division is shown in illustration 8-24. This cost-based transfer system is a bad deal for the sole division, as it reports no profit on the transfer of 10,000 soles to the boot division. If the sole division could sell these soles to an outside customer, it would make $70,000, which is the 10,000 soles times the $7 contribution margin, as shown in illustration 8-18. The boot division, on the other hand, is delighted. Its contribution margin per unit increases from $38 to $44, or $6 per boot. Thus, this transfer price results in an unfair evaluation of these two divisions. Further examination of this example reveals that this transfer price reduces the company's overall profits. The sole division lost a contribution margin per unit of $7, and the boot division experiences only a $6 increase in its contribution margin per unit. Overall, Alberta Company loses $10,000. This is the 10,000 boots times the difference in the contribution margins of $1. The overall results change if the sole division has excess capacity. In this case, the sole division continues to report a zero profit on the 10,000 units. However, the boot division gains $6, so overall the company is better off by $60,000. We can see that a cost-based transfer system does not reflect the division's true profitability. What's more, it does not provide adequate incentive for the sole division to control costs. The market-based transfer price is based on existing market prices of competing goods and services. A market-based system is often considered the best approach because it is objective and generally provides the proper economic incentives. For example, if the sole division can charge the market price, it is indifferent as to whether soles are sold to outside customers or internally to the boot division. It does not lose any contribution margin. Similarly, the boot division pays a price for the soles that is at or reasonably close to market. If the sole division has excess capacity, the market-based system can lead to actions that are not in the best interest of the company. The minimum transfer price that the sole division would receive is its variable cost plus opportunity cost. As indicated earlier, in many cases, there simply is not a well-defined market for the good or service being transferred. When this is the case, a reasonable market value cannot be developed, so companies often resort to a cost-based system. Outsourcing involves contracting with an external party to provide a good or service rather than performing the work internally. Some companies have taken outsourcing to the extreme by outsourcing all of their production. Many of these so-called virtual companies have well-established brand names, though they do not manufacture any of their own products. Companies use incremental analysis to determine whether outsourcing is profitable. When companies outsource, fewer components are transferred internally between divisions. This reduces the need for transfer prices. As more companies globalize their operations, an increasing number of intercompany transfers are between divisions that are located in different countries. One estimate suggests that 60% of trade between countries is simply transfers between company divisions. Differences in tax rates across countries can complicate the determination of the appropriate transfer price.